okay.
You're right. It's a pretty good voice.
Yeah. All right. Skype is recording.
Skype is recording. Recording.
Yes, it is. Well, we're just past 10. Do you want to start at 10 seconds after?
Yeah.
All right.
You were late.
Nah, I kind of hiccuped a little bit, but I think we're good. I think we're live.
Oh, you think? We're live.
I think a lot.
I think a lot.
I think a lot. What were you?
I wish I knew the rest of the words to that song. It's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know the rest of those words either.
Nodding your ways.
Have you seen the new Aladdin?
No.
Newer one?
No, I don't know why, but I'm like very put off by the
Live action ones?
Live action stuff. Like I liked the Beauty and the Beast live action. I don't know if it's because it like seemed the most, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen it on Broadway. I don't know. But
I mean, it seems like Aladdin, there's just a lot of characters. There's not a ton of animals, like so many animals that talk and stuff. I feel like there's not as many in Aladdin. I feel like that makes it a little strange.
I'm curious how they did the carpet, but I mean, like,
it was good.
It was good. You liked it?
I mean, the thing is with the newer ones, I feel like they have more flexibility to go longer than an hour and a half. Like the animated ones, they're more for kids.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're kind of like they have to stick with that 90-minute window.
Yeah.
But with the animated one or the live action ones, I want to say the new Aladdin's over 2 hours.
Really? Here's how I feel about live action. If you really want my honest opinion. My honest opinion is I don't believe that actors nowadays are qualified to be in musicals. Almost ever. And that's because musicals are out of like, they're out of style. And live action Disney movies are musicals. And so they get actors, but they maybe aren't the best singers.
Oh yeah, I mean they don't have to do that shit live, so.
Right, they don't have to do that shit live, and so like you're watching it and you're like, I know Emma what's her face Watson or whatever her name is can't sing like that. Like,
and they all do that behind the scenes, and she's just lip syncing it, and
right. And
it's
I mean,
more
like,
about...
I'm sure she has a great voice. Like, I'm sure it's fine, but it's no like fucking. It's just like, I don't know, Frank Sinatra, Gene Kelly, like all those.
Do you really see the live action ones as musicals?
Disney movies are musicals.
Are they? I just think of them as like action, like adventure. I don't know. I wouldn't consider it a musical personally, but
one jump ahead of the bread line, one step ahead of the doom.
I get it, but it's
only use a knock to
it's way more palatable than a musical to me.
But that's a musical. It's like they're musicaling through life.
Okay. I mean, I guess. It's like musical light.
That is definitely not musical light. That is musical heavy. Really? It's just that you grew up on it, so you're okay with it.
If I'm on IMDb, the categories say adventure, comedy, and family.
It's a musical. It's got the whole soundtrack is the actual them singing.
I don't know. I mean, even the old ones don't say music. They just say animation, adventure, comedy. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't. I mean, generally, I don't like musicals, but I would say these are way more palatable.
Like Disney musicals are different because you literally grew up with them.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's different than like Les Miserables or something. Like that's not the same thing.
For sure. But I would put it more in like the Sound of Music. The hills are alive.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I know. And where it's like more added into the storyline. Like the music is moving with the storyline. And Les Miserables, I haven't seen it in a long, long time, but like, or The Phantom of the Opera, it's very like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
It's
know,
very
it's different.
dramatic. It's way more dramatic, I feel like.
Yeah, instead of like like it could have the worst storyline in the whole entire planet and still be good, quote unquote, because the music's good. But yeah.
I was thinking, is Willy Wonka considered a musical?
Yeah.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Family, fantasy, and musical.
Yeah.
All right. Top 3 musicals on IMDb. The New Pinocchio, Sing 2, and Grease.
Really?
Well, based on popularity of right now.
Oh yeah, Grease is popular right now because what's her face just died.
Yeah.
Sandy.
So
whatever her name is. And Olivia Newton-John just died. And Sing 2 was fucking good. It was good.
And I think the newer live actions are just a ways for them to make some more money these days, I feel like.
I don't know if I'll be able to see the live action Pinocchio. Pinocchio always scared me, like just generally. It was never one of my favorites.
I don't really remember the storyline, but yeah, it would seem a little strange.
Yeah.
I like the new Lion King though. That was good. The new
I've not
Aladdin
seen
was
that
good.
one. I don't know if I told you, but my Lion King experience traditionally was like tainted from the very beginning.
I think you told me that. I think we talked about that on here before.
Yeah, like we got a ticket on the way to the theater, and I've always hated cops, and so like they've just always scared the shit out of me, and so we didn't even open the Lion King VHS. I don't even think it is open still. I think my mom still has it, and it might still be wrapped. Like, like but I like it now, but I no desire to see the live action.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus, that's just really fucking sad. Like, The Lion King is a really sad movie.
Even the live action one's kind of like, because they look real, so it's like
that's even worse. Like,
right. All right, that was our Disney segment for today.
Yes. Lloyd's joining us. He's looking off in the distance. He looks like a gargoyle on his little spot.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Trying to think of what's going on this week. Getting some more studio time in. I got a show on Saturday in Bellevue, so it's close by. I get to set up my tent on Friday night, so that's nice. And then
that's nice.
Do this sale on Saturday. Yeah, I've really just been throwing a lot. I got some wholesale orders in the last week or two that I've got on the books that I need to like start making some things for and just preparing for the shows. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think around the house things. I don't think anything's new around here. I don't know. Tell me,
he replaced the garbage disposal. You replaced the garbage. See, he's not thinking of things because I was driving on Monday night and we had like a 2-hour conversation.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it was long Labor Day weekend. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So long weekend. I was off Friday from work and then Monday from work. So yeah, we went to Louisville over the weekend and got in there. I did a little fishing at my in-laws, which was fun. I haven't fished in a while. I caught a few bass. It was fun. Yeah. And then we saw the family, went to a baby shower and saw the kids and stuff, and then got back and had an extra day to kind of relax a little bit and get some extra time to catch up at the house. So yeah, I did replace a garbage disposal. Have you ever done that before?
No. I know how to do it, but I've never had to. No.
Yeah. That was my second one I've done. It's super simple, honestly. It's really just you just got to get down in that area, especially if there's already one on it. I mean, if there wasn't one there, it would probably be a little more difficult because you'd have to power it. I've
definitely done a lot of plumbing under sinks situations. So
course, I don't really know why you would not have a garbage disposal on a sink for a kitchen sink already.
Because you would have a septic system.
Is that why?
Yeah, you wouldn't need one because you couldn't put anything down anyway. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So.
But yeah, it was disgusting. It reeked, and then the waters come like that side of the sink literally would not drain water, or if it did, it would trickle. So whatever's in there sitting. Yeah, we did talk about that last time we discussed of the things we need to get done. And yeah, that was gross, but I got it done. And it's all functional now. And I did get Rachel's headlight in. I need to replace it. Got it off eBay, so it was
nice.
Yeah, I need a couple hours or so to do that. Maybe I'll do that on Sunday. My show's Saturday, so I'll probably do that on Sunday.
I am always continuously surprised at how handy you are. Like, originally, and
I'm like cheap handy. Like,
I know you're cheap handy.
I'm handy for the sake of being cheap.
But you like up front, you seem like one of those people that if you were like, will you replace this garbage disposal? You'd be like, no. Like, I've never done that before.
But would I be the person to pay somebody to do it?
No. So, but I'm always like impressed.
My dad do it or something, and be like, show me how to do this.
Yeah, I'm always impressed. And your dad's very handy, so I'm always impressed at like what you've been able to like pick up from that and stuff.
I think Rachel kind of forces us to.
Yeah, for sure.
Have to learn these things, like how to install a dishwasher and replace a garbage disposal, and that's pretty much the extent of it. But
how to cut a hole in your wall so that you can put wiring through it.
Yeah. How to run wires for the kilns and stuff. My dad's taught me that stuff, and some of the car stuff, like the headlights and the YouTube and things, to hopefully not have to pay if I can.
Yep. I understand that completely.
So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I'm a little worried about all the pots I feel like I need to make because of the shows.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that I'm able to account for enough studio time over the next few weeks.
For sure.
And I'll be out of town next week for a work conference in North Carolina. So.
Oh, is it your annual one?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be good. I haven't seen them since last year, so last September.
Nice.
That should be good. Plus, I love the food and stuff there.
Oh, I bet. And
probably
it's like all provided,
you probably
right?
like it.
Yeah.
What'd you say before that?
Oh, I bet the food at the conference is all provided, right?
Yeah, and then last year it was outdoor because of COVID stuff, and it was at like their amphitheater, like outdoor amphitheater where they do concerts and stuff, and they had different stages, and then people had headsets on that they could switch the channels, and you could listen to the microphone from that one stage, or you can listen to the speeches from the other stages with your headphones. So it was pretty sweet. And then they had like a concert and the food and all that, and then they had food trucks.
Yeah.
On one of the nights, so you could just go down. There's a line of like 8 food trucks that was all free.
Wow.
So they had like tacos, burgers. They had some kind of Asian truck. They had ice cream.
Wow.
Oh gosh, it was nuts.
You could go to every single truck and nobody.
I went to like 3 of the trucks. It's like I'll get lunch at this truck, and then I'll get like first dinner. Like right at the end of the conference day at the burger truck, and then we'll go hang out, do whatever, the concert, come back to it, get another tacos or something or whatever, and then
ice cream.
They had like a Irish truck or something, like fish and chips kind of thing. Yeah. And then I got some ice cream later.
You know what? I want to come back? Dippin' Dots.
You know what? I went to the Bats game in Louisville over the weekend, and I got Dippin' Dots on Saturday. It was
The
good.
only places that still have them are baseball games. I swear to God. Like,
why is that? I think
I don't
is
know.
it the exclusivity? They know that they can price whatever the hell they want because you can't get them anywhere else.
I don't know. I fucking love Dippin' Dots. What flavor do you get?
What flavor do you think I get?
Mint.
No, I'm rainbow all the way. Rainbow all the way.
I like mint.
I'm like, I know I'm gonna like it. I'm not even gonna try another one because I'm not gonna spend my money and regret not getting rainbow. So I'm just gonna get rainbow.
I like mint. That's always been my favorite. But I always get sick as a dog whenever I eat Dippin' Dots.
Does it
But
have little bits of
doesn't
like
matter.
chocolate flavor in there, or is it just straight mint?
Oh, I think it's mint chocolate. There's like green little balls and or brown little balls. So
Okay. I'm just like, hey, that's gonna taste like ice cream. The rainbow one doesn't taste like ice cream to me.
can we
It
figure
tastes
out how
like,
to make our own Dippin' Dots? Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some YouTube videos out there of how to do that. That would be amazing.
Oh
How
my
would
God,
you
we
do
should.
that though?
I don't know. We should do that. I'm gonna text Teresa. She'll figure it out.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. I don't know.
Amazing. I found out a fun ice cream fact if you'd like to know it.
Sure. What is it?
Okay, so my best friend Teresa, my now Tennessee best friend Teresa, because I have different state best friends. Uh, uh, she works at an ice cream facility, and she's pretty much always been in ice cream or water, and she does quality control. So anyway, this is what I've learned over the years. So um, something cannot be labeled ice cream unless it is using a certain amount of dairy fat solids, if I understand correctly.
Dairy fat solids.
I think that's right. I could be wrong, but you can Google it. But it has to have a certain amount of like dairy in it, and or fat solids or something like that. And so, like the reason that Dairy Queen is called Dairy Queen frozen treats is because it's not actually considered ice cream. It is considered a frozen treat. Um, so like Breyers, they have like 3 that are actually ice cream and the rest are frozen treats. So like even in the tubs. So if it doesn't say ice cream on the tub, it is not legit ice cream. Like
I
it
mean, I
doesn't
can
have
totally
enough.
see that.
Yeah. And the reason why is because they use like linseed oil or corn oil or some sort of oil to like substitute. And
Well, their
and a lot
substitutes
of
all right.
yeah, and a lot of companies do it, but I mean it doesn't make it any like I think Dairy Queen's fucking delicious. But like
Yeah.
obviously like delicious. But yeah, if you are really looking for like the legit ice cream, um it needs to say ice cream, and if it doesn't say ice cream on this container, it's not ice cream. It'll say like frozen treat or frozen dessert.
Yeah. Or they don't. I'm trying to think of what Kroger says. It's like I don't know what it says on theirs, but there's definitely not ice cream.
Yeah.
So funny story about the ice cream. At my parents' house one time, they they keep some in the garage or whatever,
Yeah.
and the freezer door was cracked,
Oh no.
so it didn't stay frozen, and then there was a whole tub of ice cream, I think, or most of a tub of the the Kroger. I don't know, what is it, half gallon? Is that the
Yeah.
standard size? And then it basically separated.
Ew.
And then when you refroze it and you like scooped it, like you could see that it was different. And you're like, what the fuck is this? Because it's
Ew.
separated. So it's like, I mean, I'll still eat it sometimes if it's Kroger, but it's like, what exactly is in this if
I
it
think that's
separates?
I think that is why I'm initially and have always had an aversion to mayonnaise because when I was growing up we had like one container of mayonnaise and it was in the garage and it was really hot and it completely separated. Now, mayonnaise is supposed to separate because it's oil and like egg, right? Oil and egg. So it's kind of supposed to separate, but like I was like, nah,
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I think it's separated, and the thing on top was frozen like ice would freeze.
Yeah.
Or like water would freeze, so it was like really, really hard. And then the bottom was more like a chalky ice cream that didn't like stay together. It would like flake apart. It was pretty gross.
Okay. It says I figured it out. United States standards for ice cream. Ice cream shall contain at least 1.6 pounds of total solids to the gallon. Weigh not less than 4.5 pounds to the gallon and contain not less than 20% total milk solids. That's what it is. Milk solids. Constituted of not less than 10% milk fat.
Wow.
Yeah. The things you learn, you know?
I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, most of the shit that we eat's garbage anyway, so.
Right. Yeah.
It's not surprising that the stuff you get off the shelf for $1 is not a half gallon of this for $1 is not actual ice cream.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
for
not
sure.
these days, but
sure.
More than $1, but you know.
Yeah, I just never thought I just never even knew that, and like when somebody is in like food science, you're like, whoa. That's different.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there a frozen treat that you liked the most as a kid? Like, not from the ice cream person, but
Otter Pops.
Otter Pop?
Otter Pops.
What is that? Like you literally get that at the grocery store? A box of Otter Pops?
Yeah. Or Fudgesicles. Fudgesicles are delicious.
Fudgesicles were good.
I just love a classic ice cream sandwich too.
Yeah. The one with like the soft cookie?
Yeah.
I don't like those as much. They're too like sticky.
That's why I like them.
I don't like that as much.
I like anything fruity. Popsicles that are fruity, anything fruity.
Yeah. I like the layered popsicles, like the not necessarily like bomb pop, but like some of the other ones that are layered, or they're like
push
they
pops.
Get the layers inside.
Flintstone push pops. Yes, the orange ones.
Right.
Oh. Bless.
Yeah, they were good. I did like the fudgesicles.
Fudgesicles were oof. I don't eat any like frozen desserts now, almost at all.
Yeah.
So
we sometimes keep like a pint of sorbet or sometimes we'll have a half gallon of the like cookies and cream or something, but
right.
Like the mango sorbet, that's good.
Oh, yummy. So if I have ice cream in my freezer, it's almost always in a pint because I got it on sale at like Aldi or whatever, and it usually stays in there for 2 months before I finish it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a quick
ice
cream eater. I'm like I'll eat literally a scoop or 2 scoops, and that's it.
Now my mom had ice cream every single night when I was younger. Like it was our job.
My mom does that to this day, probably.
Yeah, it was our job to get her ice cream every single day. Dinner and ice cream.
What flavor?
I don't know what flavor she usually likes. I want to say she likes I want vanilla, something with caramel. Yeah. It's been a long time since I've lived with my parents, so or visited, because I visit about once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they do ice cream now or not. Yeah. But
nice.
Trained us well.
Yeah.
I brought you into this world. You will give me ice cream.
Ice cream. Hey, it's better to go out and get ice cream for them than get them like a pack of cigarettes or something, I'm sure.
So true. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was thinking about this over the weekend. So I went over my grandfather's house.
Mhm.
And we were getting the breeze block for the front walk that he's had at his house for years, and we get to use them now. So we had a whole bunch, and I think I realized where my mom gets the whole like, can I get you something? You want some of this? You want some of that?
Yeah.
Like he does that when we're over there. He's like, can I get you a soda? Do you want an ice pop? Do you want a freezer pop? Do you want this? I got some chips in there. Do you want a soda?
I know your family is like the most hospitable family. Like, just like, what do you need? What do you want? there's the pantry. Eat whatever you want.
Yes, no shortage of snacks, and they're like,
no shortage of
that's
snacks.
that's where my mom gets it.
Yeah, that's funny.
Not that I like didn't know that before, but it was just funny that it
Very
like
apparent.
it was apparent when I was over there, because I literally never go over to his house, and yeah, him and my dad were over there, and it was like, yeah, same old thing.
Same
Same
old,
house
same
since
old.
same old house since I was a kid.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yep. Well, I mean, and my mother lived in that house.
Wow.
When she was a kid. They lived in the same house. Literally, I think that's the first house they got in the last, the same house. He's like mid 80s now.
How much did he buy it for? Have you asked?
I don't know. He had
You
to.
should ask.
That would be funny. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure that was the first house they got, but maybe not. Maybe it was but my mother did live in there when they were kids, so.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, that front room used to be my bedroom, and then, theirs was back there, and his, yeah.
That's crazy. My grandpa lived in a trailer, and it was like a double wide trailer in an old folks trailer home place.
Mm-hmm.
like a fancy trailer park. It was like a senior living trailer park.
Oh,
and then my aunt who died when she was about 85, probably 4 years ago, so she's fairly old. She lived in a trailer down the street, and then my uncle took that trailer over, and so I don't know. So it was sold, but we would still drive past the trailer. And then my grandpa's lover, Zella, lived right next to him. And Zella, she made my baby blanket, and and she was wonderful. Anyway, continue.
A few years ago, we drove by my old house when I think it was probably a couple of years ago. Rachel and I drove by, and it's like, it's weird looking at the house you grew up in. It's like so much different, but some of the neighbors are still around, and you're like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I know we had a cul-de-sac growing up. It was probably 10 houses in a cul-de-sac. And I haven't been back to look at it. I didn't even look at it when I was living in Washington, because I grew up in Kent, until I was 6. And but it's in the ghetto.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting when you're like, what was this area like when I was growing up? And then you're like, how has it changed? And, how has the businesses changed? And what types of businesses are in there now versus when I was a kid? And,
yeah,
you don't really know much different neighborhoods and stuff when you're a kid, I feel like. So it's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
What's around and what you're used to driving past. But yeah, it's interesting to see stuff evolve, what actually 20 years in an area looks like.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can just see it because you either lived in that area for that long, or you've just been around it and you were entrenched in it day to day for that many years.
Yeah. Well, my favorite thing is also walking into a double wide trailer that has the wooden trim, and it's got a specific smell, and it just reminds me of my childhood, because my grandpa lived in it, and he was the one that kind of raised me.
Mm-hmm.
Not raised me, but I went over to his house all the time, and yeah, and it was just the the wooded slat walls that have too big, one small, too big, one small, and it smells a certain way. I don't know. It's just it just reminds me of being.
There's definitely some smells that bring back memories.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I put a deposit down on a van today.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
How was that I wanted to ask you how that process was. So you went to some dealerships yesterday, right?
Yeah. So we're way past our time.
We're 30 minutes in, but
It's fine. You're just going to have to deal with it. Um, uh, you got some old reminiscing moments. Okay. Quick flashback. Car went into the dealership to get looked at. Turns out there's a lot more damage internally than I want to pay for. So we got the main thing fixed. I can drive it around. I need to get new brakes, but it's fine. And with that being said, I was like, okay, already had planned for buying a van in June and moving into that after my lease is
September
done.
right now.
It is September right now. September 22. I already planned on moving into a van in June 2023. And my car was in the shop. I got a loaner car. Teresa and Brandon actually paid for a loaner for me to drive down to Memphis to see them this weekend. And so I did that, and I had a lot of time to think. And while I was driving down, and the next day, I kind of just got the news and was like, okay, I guess I'm buying a van right now. Doing it now. Yep. Cut my losses. I could get a shitty car for the next couple of months, but I don't think the prices are going to change all that much in 6 months. And used vans are really expensive. New vans are really expensive. They're all really expensive. It doesn't really fucking matter. So I went to 4 Dodge dealerships, almost got hooked into a used, I want to get a Dodge ProMaster. Almost got hooked into an older, not super older, but a 2017 Dodge ProMaster with 117,000 miles on it for $30,000, which seems absolutely fucking ridiculous. The MSRP on those is like $32,000, and like new. It might be 38. I don't know, but definitely not worth. And then I went to like 4 of them and found one. One of them, he brings out these 2 papers and he's like, these are on their way. The guy who ordered them backed out. He ordered them and was like, changed my mind last week. From what I can tell is if you don't say you want it the day of, they're fucking gone. They're gone. Like, really? It's almost impossible to find them. If it's
a new one, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, new or even on the lot. Like he said that they haven't had a Dodge ProMaster on the lot in a year.
Okay. And I mean, I've been scouring the Transit Connects, and the same listings have literally been listed and sitting for 3 weeks. Yeah. So I feel like, I mean, maybe that gives me more leverage to go on and talk to him about it and be like, yeah, let's get this out of here.
So also Merritt told me about this auction site that I should give you, because then you might be able to get a real cheap deal. But so I kind of like went back and forth, and I was like, okay, I'm not thinking of this as a car payment. I'm thinking of this as a rent payment. I'm thinking of this as my new potential home. And do I want a van? I've had very bad luck with vehicles in the past. Do I want a vehicle that is used that could potentially have so many issues? Or do I just want to just put in the fucking money and get brand new? And for the first time in my life, my father was like, I agree, you should get brand new.
Yeah. As he bought a new car and didn't literally use it. But
then he got more money for it when he sold it, because right now you can sell a used car for more than you buy a new car for. Which is insane.
Hopefully that means good things for your car, even though it's a shit bucket.
Right. Well, I did almost trade it in for that used car, and they were going to give me $6,000 for it. It is definitely 150% not worth $6,000.
Wow. They were
didn't
desperate.
They didn't see the interior. Like, it had all of my pottery in it. Like, to give you some like background on this car, I have a 2014 Subaru Red. It's been in 1 fender bender. So the bumper was replaced, and some guy backed up into me, and it has 3 holes in the ceiling from a fence. It's got a hole in the center console from a couch. It has bleach in the back from paint. It's got the whole back, like, I don't know if you know this, but like, you know how you can like lift it up and there's all the things under it, like you can get your tire and blah blah blah, and like SUVs.
Yep.
That covering is actually cardboard, and it does not hold up to 800 gallons, like 800 gallons of paint very well. So it's bowed, and and the passenger side back seat, the mechanism that opens it so that you can fold the seat down, I don't know, it like broke off. And so I have to use a vice grip to get down into it and pull it up. And we ripped off the back.
Oh my gosh.
Like one time I was looking at my car's value. I was like, Mom, my car is worth $12,000. She's like, not on the inside. I'm like, this car is rough. And without even knowing any of the mechanical difficulties that is like involved with it, you know. But
I always think it's funny the amount of elbow you put into that center console.
No, it was from a couch.
Oh, it was? Okay. I thought you just shoved your elbow in there so hard that it's like worn away.
I fit a 4-butt couch in the car and ripped the center console.
Was it worth it?
I got the couch for $4 and
oh my gosh.
And got the nickname Magic Couch Lady from the St. Vincent de Paul lady, and ended up getting a 80% discount on the next furniture I got because she remembered me. So yeah, it was worth it.
Damn. She's basically paying you to get rid of it.
Yeah. So anyway, so I went to this one dealership, and it's basically a little bit more expensive than I wanted to pay. It's exactly what I expected to pay, but more than I wanted to pay. I did some research on used ones that were like in the last 5 years, and they're all like $45,000 to $50,000. If they have anywhere under 50,000 miles. And the one that I put a deposit down is brand spanking new 2023 Dodge Ram ProMaster 3500 extended. So,
wow.
It's got the longer wheelbase, plus it's got 14 extra inches in the back. And
what's the purpose of this vehicle? I don't know. I feel like you mentioned it last time, but
the purpose of this vehicle is to live in and to travel, because right now in my life I have so many people that I want to go visit, and I don't need to be stationary right now because I can sell in a mobile setting. So it's to just kind of like travel. I've wanted to live in a vehicle since I was 10. So, like I wanted to be a semi driver when I was younger. So like this is totally something that I've always wanted to do before it was even cool. And and so yeah. Yeah, and like I said, I've just had really bad luck with vans and with things just generally, like cars and stuff, and I'm hoping that I'm really going to try this time. I'm going to get a book that gives me all the things about this fucking car.
Yeah.
Like Ram ProMaster for Dummy, and I'm going to learn the mechanics and everything. Cuz I'm not fucking doing this again. I'm not doing this whole like I've only had the Subaru for 10 years. And it's just like bye.
Yeah. I feel like that's a long time to have a car, but that's a good amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping to get another 10 out of it, but I think that it's just one of those cars that's like a lemon almost, you know, like everything went wrong. So, and nothing of it was my fault. It just, I had to get the whole
mechanical stuff.
I had to get the whole front end replaced because of an oil consumption issue. That was in like 2018. And, you know, all these things like just piled on top of each other. So, yeah, so I'm excited. I'm really nervous. I'm going to try and get out of my lease in January now instead of June. My neighbors maybe want to move into my apartment, so that would be great. And yeah.
So then it's their problem to make sure that their apartment gets filled, right?
Yeah. No. I'll talk to Cameron and see what needs to be done. But yeah. So
sweet. Exciting. It's probably good that you got the whole car dealership visits behind you, right? That was
Yeah.
probably a big stressful part, right?
Yeah, I wasn't really planning on going to all of them, but then once I went to one and then almost got sold a car against my will, at the second one, I was like, let's just go.
They're like holding your wrist and they're like, just sign here. Just sign.
They're so fucking sleazy. Like, wow. Like, wow. Like, they're like, what can we do for you to buy this car? And I looked at him and I was like, nothing. I need a day to think about this.
I'll trade you that Subaru straight up.
I was like, you would have been so proud of me, Ryan. I even talked them up on the Subaru. They were going to give me $5,000, and I was like, I need $6,000 for the Subaru and a warranty on the van.
Nice.
I was
Did you do that? Did you do that once and you were like going in confident? You're like, all right. And then you go to the next one. You're like, all right, I know I can get this. Like,
well, nobody else had any used ones. And all the other people were like not super pushy, you know? Everybody else was like, meh.
So the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
Was it actually like a Dodge? I'm guessing these are all Dodge places, so it's like they
Yeah, it was like a
specialize.
Chrysler Dodge place. I think it was like an off-brand one though. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were just very salesy, and all the other ones seemed pretty chill, you know.
Were they like teasing out questions from you? Like
the salesman found out that I was from Washington and he's from Seattle, so automatically he had something in common with me, which was like horrible. And it was
he's like, how about that Pike's Place Market or whatever?
Yeah, and so he's like relating with me and telling me how much he hates Indiana, and I'm like, dude,
I love Indiana.
like, it's not that bad.
He's like, what do you love? I also love it.
Yeah, so
and like the other ones were fine because they just were kind of just trying to meet you with what you wanted, or because you already kind of went in like wanting new.
I think it was the new thing because like I go in and say like I'm down for used or new, if the used is a good deal, but nobody had used. And I don't know if anybody else, I mean, I'm sure everybody listening knows that they make most of their money on used cars. So, you know, they're trying to get me to buy a used car. And if they can, they'll push it as hard as they can.
Yeah.
So.
Because, I mean, there's less supply of the new, like, they probably know the new ones are going to sell.
Yeah. He basically, the very, very first guy that I went into, he said, we don't have any, but if you find one, buy it. It was like, if you find a new ProMaster on the lot, buy it. Do not walk away. And I was like, oh shit.
Then it's like you don't really have any leverage, it seems like, because they know it's gonna sell.
I know. My dad's like, see if they'll add in a warrant, like an extended warranty. And I'm like, I don't think I have any pull, like no pull with a brand new Dodge Ram or Dodge ProMaster, because I know they know they're gonna sell it.
Yeah.
I guess it's a Ram ProMaster. I don't know the difference between Dodge and Ram. I thought Dodge was Ram, but whatever.
Yeah, I thought they were one of the same.
So
I thought Ram is the truck.
Well, it's like, yeah, it's like a Dodge Ram 2500. That's what I thought.
Or is Ram like the body, and then it's like ProMaster? It's not like a truck, so it's the ProMaster.
Yeah, because when I was searching it, it was like I would search Dodge, and like there's no options, and then I'd look down and it was like, oh, I have to search Ram. So maybe it's because it's like commercial or bigger, a truck, you know?
Yeah. Did you get any fun names on Instagram?
You know, I haven't looked at it yet.
I bet there's some good ones. I was trying to think of something clever, but I'm not good with naming stuff. Like people name their kilns and shit, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I name them Olympic and L&L.
L&L. Yeah. So yeah, I asked people for names for the new car that's coming, and of course, it's not like a done deal until it's signed and paid for. But this month is going to be about making as much fucking money as possible.
Yeah. You were hitting Instagram pretty good in the last couple days.
I've been hitting Instagram pretty good, and yeah, my parents did say they would be willing to help with a down payment up to $10,000. I would obviously pay them back. And my mom won't let my dad put interest on the loans
no
anymore.
Interest. All right.
So my dad goes, and of course, it will be the parent loan situation.
Wink, wink.
Pay it
Same
back
situation
whenever.
as last time. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. But I would love to do it myself. I would love to. I was planning on doing it myself. I was,
Does it change your rate much at all with the down payment?
I don't think so. Rates are really high.
What was it when you were in there? Did they tell you all that?
With the used vehicle, he goes, you got a really good rate. It's under 8. And I'm like, bull fucking shit, that's good. No.
I mean, that's now I think it is like 6.75 or 7.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 6, and I'm just like, that's ridiculous. And I mean, my credit score is 780, so I should be able.
It's just the Fed has been raising rates over the not the federal government, I don't even know, exchange.
The Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. So
they keep raising rates.
Yeah.
For inflation to help calm inflation, I think.
Yeah, but I have really good credit score. I asked my dad initially if he would just co-sign for me, just in case they wouldn't give me the loan, and he refused.
Yeah, that's where he was like, "I'll give you more down payment," but that doesn't really change anything about the loan.
Yeah, but he said that if I give 10,000 down, they'll probably just cough up they're fine with it. So I don't know. I'm gonna try and get to 10.
Yeah, because you got a lot to sell. I'm guessing pots and just stuff to get to that.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and sell furniture and things, and yeah, hopefully I'll get there. Yeah, we don't know when the car's coming. I don't know when the van's coming. So,
well, they said that person ordered it, but they just backed out. So
yeah, so it looks like he ordered it on the 3rd of June. Its estimated ship date is September 14th, but it's not off the line yet, so it could be anywhere from 2 to 3 months.
Wow.
1 to 3 months, he said.
That's nuts.
Apparently, there's some sort of issue with the trains now. Like there's some sort of issue with like shipping and trains, and like the conductors are like going on strike or something. So
I could see that.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's a strike or whatever, but they said that that's fucking everything up. It is kind of nice going into a Dodge dealership though, because they sell Jeeps, and I basically walked in there and was like, I want something with the least amount of shit you can give me.
They're like, do you want doors?
Yeah, basically. And he was like, and these guys are like, dude, we get it. Like, we sell Jeeps. Like, people want roll-up windows. And I was like, I want roll-up windows. Like,
no windows, no doors, no problem.
No problem. But this one does come with all the fun things in it. So that'll be interesting to actually have a car with fun things. Like a remote start.
Yeah, remote start. Wow.
Wow.
You said no frills though. What is it basically because he already ordered it? You have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the total, I'll just say the total. This is really stressful for me to say. Are you ready?
I feel like it's gonna be like 42,000, but maybe more than that.
It's gonna be more than that. The car itself base package is $49,780.
Holy shit!
With all the additions on it, with like the destination fee and all that shit, it's $54,205.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So this is why we're thinking this is a rent payment, not a car payment. Well, I'm not paying rent in the next 5 years. I'm paying this.
Yeah.
And it's going to be less than my rent. So that's how I'm quantifying this. It is stressful for me. And I know that I will be able to afford it. I have no issue with affording it. It's probably going to be about $800 a month in payments, which seems absolutely ridiculous, but I will be sleeping in it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, One of the good things is you're not gonna like overbuy food probably because you have limited space of keeping it cold and all that stuff. Like you're probably not gonna have a ton of food waste because you buy it as you need it.
Yeah, I'm honestly really excited about minimizing everything in my life. And just getting rid of all this shit that I've been holding on to because I feel bad. Like I have like 2 dresses that I'll never wear ever in my life.
You've wore a dress before?
I've worn a dress twice.
Well, I'm
before.
joking, but I feel like I've never seen you wear a dress. I don't even know. In what situation would you wear a dress? To a wedding?
Wedding.
That you were in?
Yes.
Okay.
Twice. Teresa's wedding and Jen's wedding. So maybe I'll take those to my mom's or something. I don't know. But
and you kept them because you're like, I spent so much on these that I have to at least keep them just in case.
No, I keep them because I feel like somebody will know if I throw them away, and then they'll be like, or give them away. Maybe I'll donate them so that somebody can get use out of them. But one of them was specially made for me by my friend's mom. So,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there are places that like.
Sorry, Jen. She's gonna listen to this.
There are people that help people get like dresses for proms and stuff that can't afford it. I mean, I just think that's ridiculous, the amount of money people have to spend for that kind. Well, I guess not have to, but tend to spend for that kind of stuff.
Ooh, Erica, if you're listening to this and you want these dresses, they would totally fit you. Probably perfect. Might be a little big, but who knows? Anyway, but yeah, I'm excited about downsizing and getting rid of all this shit in my life. And it's
a good feeling.
Yeah, when I went to Washington, I came in an Isuzu rodeo. Half of it was full, and half of it was my bed, and that's all I had.
Wow.
And yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. I don't know. It's a lot of it's like I could use that, but I feel like once you get rid of it, the regret of wishing you still had something, like it's just not there. Like the regret is very short term, and then you're like, okay, I don't even remember that because that was like last week or something, or I don't even remember having it because it, the pain it is to just see it every time you walk by it, and you're like, I need to do something with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the only thing that I'll probably miss the most is my kitchen. I have a really great kitchen.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed making food in the past year. Or past 2 years. So if I travel to any place and somebody wants me to make them a meal, hit me up.
Oh yeah. You get access to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, should we get to some discussion today?
Oh, I guess.
52 minutes in.
Whatever. Life
should
update.
Should we do the what would you do?
Yeah.
All right, what would you do if your car breaks down the week of a show?
Okay, we know what I would do, so let's see what you would do.
Okay, so I would not drop out of a show. I would probably figure out a way to do a rental like U-Haul for the day if I could.
Oh, that's smart. They're like $19 for the day, right?
Yeah, I would. I mean, it would totally be worth the money. I would probably rent, a U-Haul van probably, and a couple days with the mileage. Depends on how far I'm driving. Like, if it was, I wouldn't want to borrow a car from somebody, and I'm not gonna buy a car.
Right.
So
we're talking breakdown, like cannot drive breakdown.
Yeah, like, hey, this is the car that I take to my shows, and I cannot drive it this weekend because it's in the shop or something like that. Or maybe you just don't trust driving it because you don't want it to break down on the way or something. So I would probably go that route. U-Haul, I would just fork it over, like, whatever I need to get to and from the show. I don't think it would be financially a negative to pay for the rental, go to the show, sell, make less money than if I just stayed home and didn't pay for the rental and canceled a show. I mean, if it was a show that I've never done before, I might consider canceling, but you've already paid for the booth at that point, and you're not getting any money back. So
Right. Yeah, I think I'd probably do the same. I'd probably call you, and then you'd tell me to buy a U-Haul.
It'd have to be something drastic that would keep me from going to a show.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, maybe like a death in the family or,
like
something emergency
market?
with families. Like,
yeah. if it was a farmer's market, I'd be like, peace out, can't come.
Yeah.
But
it would have to financially definitely be worth it.
Yeah.
Like, I know that I'm going to sell decent at the show.
Yeah.
And if it's local, even better.
I'd just buy a new fucking car.
What'd you say?
I would just buy a new fucking car. Throw down $54,000.
But it doesn't mean that you can't get your car fixed. It's just like, what, you're going to fix the car. But
yeah, no, I would probably do the exact same thing you did. Or I would probably borrow a car if I could.
Yeah. I don't think I know enough people that have a vehicle that I could borrow that's that size.
Yeah.
I mean, I can make it work. All I'd need is an SUV, but if it was bigger, I would probably have to go U-Haul.
You need more motorhead friends.
I know. I need more friends, period. And maybe I don't. I don't know.
Quality versus quantity.
Yes. But yes, that is our, what would you do if 165, I think. Okay. All right. And then we got, well, you want to pick one of the listener questions and then go into.
Yeah. I like the kiln one. I don't have it up right now.
All right.
Yeah, we haven't talked about kilns in a long time. Let's just do that one.
Yeah.
And we can kind of go from there. Okay. It says, I have an older Skutt with a kiln sitter. The first couple of years using it, it would fire perfectly, on time, every time. But the last 3 to 4 firings, either bisque or glaze, is going into a cone 7 when I do 6, or 6 when I do 5. Wondering if this may get worse and how to correct it. Elements are in good shape. Just having one come out, just have one coming out that is pinned. Bricks are nearly perfect. Also, its max is cone 10. I use clay and glaze.
It says max is cone 8, but.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Also, its max is cone 8. I use clay and glaze for cone 5 to 6 vitrification. For the life of the kiln, should I fire to 5 primarily? Ryan from Little King Pottery.
All right. So you said first couple of years. I don't know how many firings you're doing in a year, but first off, you should definitely be using the why am I blanking? The cones. You should be using witness cones in there so you can see what the variation is from top to bottom.
Especially when you're having issues.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the biggest part for me if a kiln's having issues. I'm going to see that the cones are getting dressed like more varied from top to bottom. And that's going to tell you, I would say if one's getting less hot, it's probably because that section of the kiln, the element is lagging or it's out, or because the other ones are having to compensate for that one being out. And then you will also, if you keep kiln logs, you're going to notice that your kilns are going longer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to tell you your element. So basically it all goes back to elements. Like, it sounds like you need to replace your elements.
Yeah, so just because they look fine doesn't mean they are fine. That is.
And what do fine elements look like? What are some characteristics of good looking elements versus some things of, hey, that you might be getting near the end of the life?
Well, I don't think they necessarily show any wear and tear towards the end of their life. Sometimes they pop out, if they're not like snug, but I've had kilns that have completely no element, like no show of wear, be completely kaputs. So we've mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again because it's important. If you have a cone 8 kiln, firing to cone 6 or 5, doesn't matter, is literally pushing it to 90%. So it's just think of it as your car. It would be like you going. It would be, sorry. It would be like if you're going across country and your max speed is 90 miles an hour and you're going 80 miles an hour the entire time. Your gas is going to burn up faster. Your engine is going to burn up faster. All of the things are going to burn up faster. But if you're going 50 miles an hour, you'd probably be okay. So cone 8 kilns are primarily used and supposed to be used for low temp firings. That doesn't mean you have to. It just means that your elements will burn out quicker than a cone 10 kiln. So when I was firing my brand new Skutt cone 8 kiln, it was when I was doing higher fires because I had no other choice to get that kiln. I think I got maybe 109 firings out of it. And then it was kaputs.
Does it actually kaputs, or you're just like, hey, this is
it was taking
way
like
too
14 hours to fire and so on and so forth. But so if you haven't ever changed the elements out, it is 150% your elements.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I would say a couple of years is quite a long time for having elements. I mean, unless you're firing like 5 times a year.
Right. I mean, yeah. Yeah, it depends. Like if you're firing maybe once a month over 3 years, 32 firings?
Yeah, that's
36,
fine.
36 firings, that's fine.
But also, I don't know if you got your kiln from somebody.
Right.
And
so, yeah. And another good way, if you are not a what do you call it, like a kiln log person, is because it is a kiln sitter, what you should be doing is once you do replace your elements, every time you fire the kiln, put your cone in a little mason jar or whatever next to your kiln. And that way, when it does start to go, you can count out how many cones you have, and then you'll know how many firings it's been. If you're not a logger like me.
And you don't have to use the witness cones every single firing, but
no,
it's good to just do them every now and then, even if you're confident. I'm still confident in it, but I still put them basically in every part of the kiln, every single firing. Like, that's a cost I'm willing to incur.
Yeah. I don't. I don't, but I also have almost a brand new kiln. It's only got 100 firings on it, and like I'm not particular about my glazes, so I'll put it maybe at the top. And that's about
for
it.
me, it's always more information is better. Like, you know, you have witness cones, that's good. Yeah, keep a kiln log, that's better. You have some documentation of when you last changed them, even better. Like, you know, having a number of how many bisque firings versus glaze firings, like that's better.
Right.
So, also, I was wondering about the cone. The cone max is 8. How much does the top 10, like let's say he goes to cone 5?
Okay.
Does the max temperature matter more to wear the elements out more so than the speed of the firing?
Both,
yeah.
You should always, if you have a cone 8 kiln, you need to be doing it as slow, no matter what. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
That's just like putting your foot to the floor on the gas pedal when it's
Yeah, you need to go for slow. And like this is just me, like literally I called Skutt and was like, why is this doing it? It only has, and he explained this whole thing to me when it did happen. But yeah, so, and the difference between cone 5 and cone 6 doesn't matter. They're still both up there. So
I mean, sure, 5 is probably a little bit better than 6.
Yeah.
And then you should, what about changing the elements? You've said this before, but change all of them at once if you're going to change them.
At least the first time. If you've never changed the elements, definitely just change all of them. And mark down when you do it, maybe in a phone or whatever, or your kiln log or whatever like that. Or even put a little sticker on the kiln and say, you know.
Don't put a sticker on the kiln. It might burn up.
Not on the side of the box.
Okay, the box is fine. I thought you meant like on the band.
No. Like on the box or something, somewhere that's not going to get super hot, or on the back of the hoist in the back or whatever, just saying when, or next to it on the wall, saying when you changed out the elements. Also, check your relays. It could be relays too. And
the relays are the things that control when the elements turn on and off.
Yes. And if the relays are bad and you replace the relays, make sure you're writing on the side of the relay when you replaced it and who replaced it. And
and there's no thermocouple in the kiln sitter, so you're not replacing that. But if you had an electronic one, you'd want to replace the thermocouple along with all the element replacement, just so you're starting fresh.
And when you replace your elements, open up the box, take a picture of what it looks like first, then go to town so that you can look at that picture. And especially in a kiln sitter kiln, because there won't be, like in the brand new kilns, they have lovely little numbers that are like, this one goes to this one, this one goes to this one.
This is idiot proof. Match the numbers up.
Basically. But kiln sitter kilns don't have that, even though I think they're a lot more basic and easier to work on.
Yeah. Or like replace one element so you still see the other ones connected, and then you fix that one, and then you go to the next one, you replace that one, and work your way down.
Yep. And remember to turn off your power.
Unplug your kiln.
Unplug the kiln or turn off the breaker.
That's step one. Do that first.
So that's step one. This is not a step-by-step instructional, so make sure you listen to this all the way through.
The only other thing I was when I was talking about the elements, like mine are sagging. They're like sloped down where it looks like they're like almost horizontal instead of like verticals.
Oh yeah, like in the things.
Yeah. So that's a characteristic you can look for. If it's starting to sag and like looks like it's like leaning over.
Yeah, they all look like they're taking a nap.
Yeah, that's like, hey, these things are at their, near the end of the life.
Near the end, yeah. I'm impressed that you got 2 or 3 years out of them, honestly.
I'll count them up when I replace them, but yep. We'll see how many we got in there.
I know my kiln has 109 firings, and I don't think I'm gonna need to change the elements out. I will need to change out some thermocouples though. Also, I don't know if you're using bars, but I always recommend using bars for kiln sitters. Yeah. This is just an added thing. Because bars don't have any variation between them, so they're always a lot more accurate. When you're using cones, you could put it on the end or the other end, and you're not getting an accurate reading. So keep that in mind. I feel
like it's very minimal. I mean, you could place it
very minimal
in the same spot.
But also, they can like scoot themselves out a lot easier too. Like
that's true.
When was the last time
go off? So it wouldn't be a huge deal, but
yeah, but then you have to like reach down in there.
Oh yeah, that fucking sucks.
Replace it. Like I've had to do that with little claws before because I couldn't like get down there. Fucking terrible.
Oh hell yeah.
I kind of miss kiln sitter kilns, and I do wish that electric kilns had a safety feature of a kiln sitter.
The weighted thing or like a timer?
The weighted thing. So it was like you
what
always
would be
put
the weighted
like
feature though? What would do that? Like you would just have an additional kiln sitter in the electronic?
Like in it with like a cone 9 bar, so that if you accidentally set it wrong, it tripped, so it actually turned off,
Maybe.
I feel like
I mean, I can see it, but it just seems like overkill.
I know, but when like you see all of these people that are like, oh, I accidentally set my cone 04 to cone 6.
That's a user error.
I know, but the kiln sitter bar is it's a catch for a user error.
How many people would use that though?
I don't know, but they should have it.
Maybe. There you go. You're a kiln builder. It's in your next life.
I had one in my, because like I had the electronic box that was separate, like you have. That was like separate on the wall, and so.
What do you mean? Like I have? Mine are both attached to the kiln.
Yeah, but it's an added-on feature, right?
I don't think so. I mean, mine came attached to it.
Was your old one?
No, I never had one that was mounted on the wall.
Anyway, I had one that was mounted on the wall, and it like just plugged right into the kiln, and like you plug the kiln into it, and then and then you put a thermocouple into the kiln from the box, and so the kiln still had a kiln sitter, and I think that's why I have this thought.
Okay.
So it still had a kiln sitter.
It was retrofitted.
Yeah, so I would still put in like a 7 or 8 just in case something happened.
Okay.
And then
I can see that now.
Yeah. And then it would trip, and it would turn off if it needed to. You know.
Gotcha. And then lastly, it doesn't hurt to get ahead of it if you've already had a lot of firings. Get your elements. I don't know supply chain of elements these days, but
yeah,
definitely get like. What would you rather? Fork out $300 now to get elements that you might need in the next 6 months, or you have your kiln die in like 4 months and you need elements and you can't get them for like a month or two?
Yeah, especially as we get into Christmas, it's smart to have extra thermocouples, extra elements, extra relays.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have any of those.
You don't? Well,
No.
your kiln was brand new though.
I know it was brand new, but I still should be up to.
And are you going to have to get your elements from Canada? Or can you get them from manufacturers here?
I don't know.
Because the cone art is from Canada, so.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to Rebecca. I think she gets them from Canada.
Okay. All right. Are we ready to talk about what we're talking about an hour and 10 minutes in? Or are we... Do you want to call it? No, we're not calling it. What do you want to do?
No, let's just go. Do it. We'll be done by 10.
I'm like, that's a dramatic end. 10. It's already 11:10. You mean midnight?
12. I mean 12. Sorry.
Okay. So basically, I kind of was thinking about this a couple weeks ago, and the topic is, how would you structure your business if Instagram or TikTok did not exist? So we're keeping Facebook in there. I don't know. Do you want to keep Facebook? No Facebook?
No social media.
All right, no social media. Nobody knows about it. Doesn't mean social media exists and you just don't have it. We're basically like, how would you structure your business if it was 20 years ago?
Yeah, in 1970. Yeah.
1970. No, if you said 1970, that would be like internet's not really that big thing and people don't know.
Oh, that's a good point. That's 50 years ago.
Okay. So no social media.
1992.
Yeah. No social media. How would you structure your business, and what would be more important to you in this world than in the current world we're in right now? First off, I feel like I'd get a lot more work done, and there would be less distractions, or maybe I would spend my time doing other things that are not looking at social media. But
that's true.
That's less of a business owner perspective, more so a personal perspective.
Right.
In time management.
I think that well, obviously, like finding shows, like you'd have to actually talk to other potters, right? Wouldn't you?
No, I mean, I would still think shows would have websites. They just wouldn't advertise it through social media.
Okay, so we're
is application still a thing? You can
shows so we're can have in their own 2022 websites. Just without social media.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I would be heavy on the shows for sure.
Yeah. I mean, how else would you? Heavy on the shows.
Heavy on wholesale.
Wholesale. I feel like wholesale clients would be harder to come by, maybe. You'd probably have to do a little more legwork to reach out. Yeah,
you'd have to like drive to people and ask them if they want wholesale.
Yeah, I'd probably find. Hopefully, Google's pretty good about, businesses and seeing what they look like, and you can find their website. You can contact them and be like, "Hey, I'm a local potter. Here's my website. I have a bunch of stuff that could fit well in your shop." And I would like cold email people and be like, "Yo."
Yeah. Would you still have Etsy?
No. Okay. I don't think that's a thing, right? Or I guess I would. I guess that's still a thing. And it's not social media.
It's almost social media. Okay, so we still have Etsy.
I would have it, yeah. I would still have Etsy.
How would your email list like? Would you do more email marketing?
I would. I think I would really with the email list, the only way that I would get people on it would be at shows.
Okay.
That would be the primary driver of getting, like, what would incentivize people to get on my mailing list. It would be, hey, there's no way for you to find out what shows I'm doing unless I have you on my email list. You know, I'd be on my website, but you'd have to seek that out. Or Etsy, I would have to include, hey, I'd love you to join my email list. Here's how you can sign up. If you want to find out when my next pots are being uploaded to the site, or to my website, or to the Etsy shop, or if you want to come to see me at a show. Yeah, that'd be a little tougher with the email list.
Would you consider getting like a retail space if there was no social media?
It would depend on if the income like made it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely have to see, there would have to be a whole bunch of benefits of a retail space. I mean, I could still do a lot of what I'm doing today, just not being on social media. Like, I still have stuff in shops for consignment and shops for wholesale.
Yeah. And I don't feel like
I don't feel like I sell a ton through social. Like, I don't know how much social is driving sales necessarily.
I feel like for sure your shows are not they're not.
People aren't coming to my shows because they see me on social media.
Right. I don't think anybody goes to shows because they see people on social media. Like,
unless it's like a pop-up show and they never do shows. Like, hey, come to Hammerly Ceramics because we literally never open our doors because we're so busy shipping stuff online.
Yeah, because we're Kurt Hammerly and we're a superhero.
Yeah. What about you? What would differ? I mean, I know you're in a different space now, but like, would much change, or where would you have to put more work in?
Yeah, because even when I had the online shop, the social media was really important.
Especially with Facebook for you.
Yeah. I think that I'd probably just do wholesale. I think I'd try to like really.
I mean, honestly, wholesale can take up a lot of your time.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of business from wholesale as long as you
do it right.
Can handle the workload and you can communicate with the customers. But I think I would be highly less knowledgeable. I don't know if that makes sense. I would be way less knowledgeable without social media.
We would have like nothing. I mean, we'd have something, but like, wow.
You'd have to talk to people at shows and find out what's going on in their studios and how they're making stuff, and go to workshops a lot more.
Yeah. I would still have Leavenworth because I never found that through social media. I found it through a book.
Really?
Mm-hmm. A book and a referral.
Yeah.
From a guy who.
I don't feel like I find shows a lot from social media.
Yeah.
The shows I do normally are like, hey, I find them, they're like shows that have been around and they might have a social media, but if they do, it's lacking, and it's like a third resort of how they advertise to people. Like, that's not their primary driver of letting people know about the show.
We would have never met.
Yes, that is true.
What a terrible situation. Me and Rebecca would never meet. Us and Josh.
How would you make connection? Like,
how would you make
the world would be so much smaller, I feel like.
Yeah. I think that we think of social media as such a downer most of the time, but wow, in the business world, it is such a connector. Like,
yeah. Otherwise, how do you learn about? I mean, I guess YouTube's a really good resource, but you could almost say YouTube's kind of a social media.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very one-sided though. There's not a lot of back and forth if you're commenting to people on YouTube or whatever. It's not a conversation.
Right.
So it's you'd have to rely a lot on your local. Hopefully, you have like a local clay community, like a guild or something, like
Right.
the Clay Alliance, wherever you're at, where you can get together with other clay folks that are local to you, and you can talk about shows and selling and all that stuff. So
There'd be a lot less people doing clay for sure.
yeah, that might be good for business.
Yeah.
I think it I wonder what effect do you think it would have on your work itself?
Oh, like the influencing and like the
Yeah, whether you're seeing other people's work and being influenced, or you make stuff and you get feedback from people that are on social to give you positive, negative, you know, whatever.
Well, I think that that's like the classic country pottery look, right? It's like maybe everybody would have about the same type of look because there's not as much inspiration.
Or you have to find inspiration from other things like
Yeah.
going to shows and seeing what people are making.
Going to museums, like we get inspiration from regular art, from, you know, all the things, and you'd have to go to like museums and art shows and art openings and stuff like that just to get an inspiration.
Do you think you would I was just thinking if I would go like the YouTube route at all. I don't know if the educational and the sharing knowledge was like inherent to me. I think it just came naturally from being on Instagram and sharing things. I don't know that that was like in me to always want to share like that. And if social
Yeah.
media wasn't there, I would have a YouTube channel and share all the same things because I just hate like video editing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wonder if I would just be more siloed. I would maybe share more with my local folks here, but
Yeah.
wouldn't talk about it and wouldn't share as much out there to a wider audience.
I just realized that I didn't upload my Patreon video. Shame on you, Becca. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it's it would be so different, you know?
I feel like it would have. Do you think it would have more? I'm trying to think of what impact would be overwhelmingly positive,
Mm-hmm.
and then what impact would be overwhelmingly negative, like set us back without it. Um, what things would you see that would be overwhelmingly positive by not having social media?
I can't see very much. But I feel like social media is overwhelmingly positive for business.
What if it's for does you personally as being like the business or the like architect behind the business, the founder, the maker, all that stuff, like you as a person being in a better headspace, or maybe you're less distracted versus less I don't know, impacted by things around you that maybe pull you away from your business or what, like
Oh, definitely.
I feel like there's a lot of positives in like, hey, we're not pulling your attention left and right,
Yeah, that's true.
which is what like news and like big issues of today kind of draw your attention away, good or bad.
Yeah.
Where it's like we're always going to the next thing, and it could be within the same day.
Yeah.
And it just feels like there's way more noise that you can't avoid today. That if social media wasn't there, I feel like you'd have a little more control over what you
That's
choose
true.
to be involved with.
A quieter life, that's for sure. Yeah, social media.
But I mean,
is
you still have
definitely
a choice
noisy.
of to use social or not.
Right.
These days, it's so embedded.
Mm-hmm.
That
I think we both kind of agree that if we didn't have a business, we probably wouldn't have social. Right?
I would be less involved on it. I might be more of a consumer.
Mm.
But I don't know. I mean, I would still probably use it for entertainment value as a consumer, but I mean, it's still gonna be, addictive, and the algorithms to keep you engaged. So I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if I didn't have the business, if I would still be sharing something that would be
Would you have the
educational,
business if you
but it would
didn't
be a
have social
different
media?
business. What's that?
Would you have the business if you didn't have social media?
Yeah. I mean, social media wasn't a huge thing when I was
Same.
starting in it.
Some people have it because of social media. Some people start a business just because they
see so many people with businesses that spark and just explode. Or
we're like the last generation. You and me are the last generation of having a business that is like not influenced by social media directly.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on when you start your business, but
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. If I was inherently small business heavy. I think it was just more analytical. And it, social media just made sense from kind of a sharing and numbers perspective to be open and share things. But what are the overwhelmingly negative things where